all know that you have learned different concepts of current electricity till now, like electric current, resistance, specific resistance, equivalent resistance, and the different numerical questions. We have gone through the concepts of current electricity. Now here we are going to initiate a different subtopic, which is heating effects of electric current. So this particular class is going to initiate a different subtopic of current electricity, which is heating effects of electric current. So in the heading itself, you can understand the concept that what we are going to discuss. Heating effects means an electric current that is passing through a conductor can produce the effect of heat. So how the electric current can produce heat? You all know the concept of conservation of energy in the nature. Energy neither be created nor destroyed, but there is a possibility for conversion of one form of energy to other form of energy. If I am going to rub my hands, then my muscular energy first of all will be converting into kinetic energy because I am rubbing. Rubbing means moving my hands. So my muscular energy appearing in the form of kinetic energy of the hands. But such kinetic energy will be transformed even into heat energy also while rubbing. So ultimately my muscular energy is appearing in the form of kinetic energy of the hands and also the heat energy produced during the rubbing. This is how energy can be transformed from one form to another form. So here there is a conversion of energy, that is electrical energy to heat energy. So while dealing with the heating effects of electric current, what you need to understand, there is a transformation of energy according to conservation of energy. So that is electrical energy is converting into heat energy. Of course, it's not compulsory that to transform entire electrical energy to heat energy. A part of electrical energy might be converted into heat energy. But first of all, there is a question. What is the reason for the conversion of electrical energy to heat energy? How can a part of electrical energy can be converted into heat energy? Remember, this all will happen first of all when a current is passing through a conductor. So we need to consider first of all a current carrying conductor. A current carrying conductor, it means there is some current passing through the conductor. For example, here it is my conductor, and through the conductor there is some current passing through the conductor. Of course, you know that current flows from high potential to low potential. Means one terminal of the conductor, this is conductor. One terminal of the conductor is at high potential, the other terminal is at low potential. This is all possible, of course, when you have connected your conductor across a cell or battery whose voltage is V through a switch and ammeter, of course. So here, whenever there is current passing through the conductor, you know that the electrons will collide among themselves, and even with the lattice of the atoms, with the lattice structure of the atoms, the electrons may collide within the conductor. So during that collisions, a part of electrical energy can be converted into heat energy. You know very well the nature of the conductor to cause obstacles for the electron flow. Due to the collision of electrons among themselves or with the lattice of the atoms is nothing but the property of conductor called resistance. So due to the nature of the conductor known as resistance, we can expect the collisions of electrons with the lattice of the atoms. So during that collisions, a part of electrical energy converting into heat energy. So the point that you need to note down here it is the heating effects of electric current through a current carrying conductor is all because of the property of a conductor, which is resistance of a conductor causes heating effects. So this is the basic fundamental property of a conductor that causes heating effects through a current carrying conductor. So the conclusion is, whenever there is a current passing through a conductor, due to the collision of electrons among themselves or with the lattices, so a part of electrical energy converts into heat energy. This is known as heating effects of electric current. And this property, this heating effects of electric current was observed with a conductor, is all because of resistance of a conductor. This is what you need to understand. But anyway, whenever you are talking about electrical energy, in what way electrical energy is getting? Yes, whenever a cell of voltage V is applied across the conductor, there is some work done by the cell. To keep the electrons moving through the cross section of a conductor, there is work done by the cell or battery. That electrical work done nothing but electrical energy. Because remember, work and energy are equivalent. If I wish to accomplish a task, if I wish to accomplish a work, I need energy. If I have energy, I can accomplish a work. I utilize my energy to accomplish that work. So work and energy are always equivalent. So when I am talking about electrical energy converting into heat energy, from where the electrical energy is coming, I told you, energy neither be created nor destroyed. Yes, the amount of electrical work done by the cell or battery to keep the electrons moving through the cross section of a conductor is nothing but electrical energy. Because that electrical energy keeps the work doing by the battery to keep the electrons moving through the cross section of a conductor. So whatever the electrical energy is all because of electrical work done by the cell or battery. So that is the reason why there is some mathematical analysis explained in between the electrical work done and the heat energy produced. So if W is the amount of electrical work done is W, and if Q is the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor, they will be directly proportional to it. I repeat, the amount of electrical work done by the cell or battery will be directly proportional to the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor. This is the mathematical relation that was introduced by Joule, so it is familiar as Joule's law of current electricity. I repeat, what you are going to learn? Joule's law of current electricity. What is the main subtopic that we are dealing? Heating effects of electric current. When a current is passing through a conductor, we can observe there is a heat energy produced. A part of electrical energy can be produced into heat energy due to the property of a conductor known as resistance. This is all because of collision of electrons among themselves or with the lattice of the atoms. A part of electrical energy converts into heat energy. And here, whatever the amount of heat energy that is produced in a current carrying conductor will be depending on the amount of electrical work done by the battery. Because whatever the electrical energy developed because entirely electrical work done by the cell or battery. So the statement of Joule's law in current electricity is the amount of electrical work done will be directly proportional to the amount of heat energy produced. Q is the amount of heat energy. Small q represents the charge, capital Q represents heat energy. W is amount of electrical work done. So that this amount of electrical work done W equal to, when I remove proportionality putting equal to, there should be some proportionality constant which is J into Q. Here J is proportionality constant and it is known as Joule's constant. J is a proportionality constant and it is known as Joule's constant, remember. Of course, if you wish to write a formula for Joule's constant, J equal to W by Q. What is W? It is electrical work done, equivalent to energy, of course, where Q is the amount of heat energy produced. Usually, energy will be measured in terms of Joule, electrical energy, and heat energy will be measured in calorie. So the unit of J is Joule per calorie. This is a very interesting thing. Listen carefully. Usually while writing units, either we follow MKS units or we follow CGS units. But interestingly, while writing the value of J, there will be combination of MKS and CGS units. Work done, electrical work done or electrical energy will be measured in Joule and heat energy measured in calorie. Actually, calorie is the CGS unit of heat energy and Joule is the MKS or SI unit of electrical work done. So usually Joule's constant will be mentioned as Joule per calorie. That's the point what you need to understand. And here this Joule's constant value is approximately 4.18 Joule per calorie. 4.18 Joule per calorie. Joule is the SI unit of energy. Calorie is the CGS unit of heat energy. So Joule's constant value is 4.18 Joule per calorie. This is the point what you need to understand. So here the very interesting point is Joule's law of current electricity. The amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor will be directly proportional to the electrical work done. So the W equal to J into Q, where J is proportionality constant, known as Joule's constant. J equal to W by Q. That is equal to 4.18 Joule per calorie. For example, if you wish to write both of them in CGS units only, MKS units, both work done and heat energy, electrical work done and heat energy, both you wish to write in the same system of unit, then here 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 Joule. I told you J equal to 4.18 Joule per calorie. Then this is equal to 1 calorie equal to 4.18 Joule. I told you, then this is 1. J equal to 1. When electrical energy or electrical work done in the SI system, if you have written in SI system, and heat energy also you have written in SI units, then J value is 1. Very, very, very interesting. While writing formula W equal to JQ, if heat energy measured in terms of Joule, which is SI system, heat energy is measured in terms of Joule, which is SI system, and work done also expressed in SI system, which is Joule, then J value is equal to 1. If not, this is one way. If not, electrical work done is expressed in Joule, but heat energy expressed in calorie, then Joule's constant J equal to 4.18 Joule per calorie. This is very interesting. So while applying formula W equal to JQ, you should be very, very careful. If electrical energy or work done and heat energy both are substituted in SI system, then J equal to 1. If electrical energy is in SI system and heat energy is in calorie, then J equal to 4.18 Joule per calorie. Of course, it can be approximated to 4.2 Joule per calorie. So this is a very, very important key factor while doing applications. While doing numerical applications, Joule's law of current electricity, W equal to JQ, J value is 4.2 Joule per calorie approximately. When heat energy is taken in calories, electrical energy taken in joules. If both are taken in joules, then J equal to 1. That's the point what you need to understand. So anyway, what you have learned from this board? What is meant by heating effects of electric current? And to explain the heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor, Joule's law of current electricity was introduced, so that the amount of electrical work done will be directly proportional to the heat energy produced. So that W equal to J into Q, where J equal to W by Q. This is the concept that you need to learn from your book. Now we try to derive a mathematical equation for the amount of heat energy generated in a current carrying conductor. Once note down. So here, to measure the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor, we have Joule's law of current electricity, W equal to J into Q. So that here W is electrical work done. You are sure, I think, electrical work done W is equal to V into Q, where V is the potential difference and Q is the charge flow, because you have learnt already electric potential or potential difference V equal to W by Q. If you wish, once you refer electric potential class, V equal to W by Q, then W equal to VQ. Electrical work done W equal to V into Q, where V is the potential difference of the battery, voltage of the battery connected, Q is the charge flow through the cross section of conductor, is equal to J into Q. But here only V into Q equal to IT. I is the current passing through the conductor for the interval of t seconds. Then Q is equal to IT is equal to J into Q. Of course, I can write V equal to IR. When I current passing through a conductor of resistance R, I current passing through a conductor of resistance R, then potential difference V equal to IR. So that finally I square RT is equal to JQ. So that Q is equal to I square RT by J. This is the equation for the amount of heat energy generated. So let me conclude. When there is a conductor, here is a conductor whose resistance is R, is given across the terminals of a cell or battery through ammeter, and V is the voltage, I is the current through the conductor of resistance R for t seconds. Then the amount of heat energy produced, Q equal to I square RT by J. I is current passing through the conductor in terms of amperes. R is the resistance of the conductor in terms of ohm. T is the time for which current allowed to pass through the conductor in terms of seconds. So SI unit of current is ampere, SI unit of resistance is ohm, and SI unit of time is second. Means all are in SI system of units. That's why Joule's constant J equal to 1 and heat energy Q will be in terms of Joule. I told you, you should be very careful while doing numerical questions on this formula. It appears that Q equal to I square RT by J, but provided J equal to 1, when all the terms are expressed in terms of SI system, heat energy will be in terms of Joule, because heat nothing but energy. SI unit of energy is Joule, CGS unit is erg, of course. So I told you in the last point, when you are measuring the heat energy in terms of calorie, then J value is 4.2 joule per calorie. But when heat energy is expressed in terms of joule, then Joule's constant J equal to 1. Very, very important thing. So that the ultimate conclusion is Q equal to I square RT joules. Unit also I am writing. For your comfort, unit also I have written. Q equal to I square RT joule. Joule is the unit, don't forget. So here is the conclusion of heat energy that is produced in a current carrying conductor. Have you got clarity? So ultimately here what you need to understand, when there is a conductor whose resistance is R, through which current is passing I for the interval of t seconds, then heat energy produced in a conductor varies directly proportional to square of the current flow, because Q equal to I square RT. When I increases, Q also increases. That's why Q proportional to I square. And the heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor varies directly proportional to resistance, because if resistance increases, Q value increases. And the amount of heat energy produced in a conductor varies directly proportional to the time for which current flows through the conductor. So the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor of resistance R depends on 3 points. One is square of the current flow through the conductor, second resistance of the conductor, and the time for which current flows through the conductor. These are the 3 factors that can influence the heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor. Keeping the resistance same, allowing the current for same interval of time, but you have increased the time passing, current passing through the conductor, then heat energy will increase automatically. You have not changed the resistance, you have not increased the time for which current flows through the conductor, but you have increased the quantity of current that is passing through the conductor, then automatically heat energy will increase, because it varies directly proportional to the square of the current flow. It varies directly proportional to the resistance of the conductor. It varies directly proportional to the time for which current flows through the conductor. So the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor depends on 3 points. One is square of the current flow. Second one is resistance of the conductor. Third one is the time for which current passing through the conductor. This is the point what you need to understand. Of course, there are many more electrical devices that we have which works on the principle of heating effects of electric current. You take our electric bulb. I'm not talking about this fluorescent lamp. I'm talking about usual incandescent bulbs. Filament bulbs, in our language to understand, filament bulbs works on the principle of heating effects of electric current. Because there will be a thin wire known as a filament in the bulb. When current is allowed, then the current will passing through that wire known as filament wire. Then due to the heating effects, the wire will burn out. As the wire burnt, it will produce heat energy, simultaneously light energy. That's why the bulb glows. When the current is passing through the filament of the bulb, due to its high resistance, then greater amount of heat energy will be produced. That amount of heat energy produced makes the filament wire to burn and will produce heat energy, simultaneously light energy. That's why bulb appears to glow. So our filament bulb works on the principle of heating effects of electric current. Next one, electric cooker. In electric cooker also, electrical energy converts into heat energy. Electric iron box, electrical iron box, where electrical energy will be converted into heat energy. But either in electric cooker or in electrical iron boxes, there will be a coil of metal wire with greater resistance. The reason to collect greater resistance is to produce greater amount of heat energy. That's why usually either in electrical cookers or in electrical iron boxes or our water heater, water heater, we use the usual water heater at our home. So all these contains a coil of wire with greater resistance. Usually alloys will be preferred as coils because alloys can offer greater resistance. Alloys means a combination of 2 or more metals is known as an alloy. Those alloys offer greater resistance, can produce greater amount of heat energy when current is passed through them. That's why electric water heater, electric iron box, electric cooker, filament bulbs, all these contains a material with greater resistance so that they can produce greater amount of heat energy. So these are usual electrical appliances that functions on the principle of heating effects of electric current. And how to measure the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor? Q equal to I square RT by J. If J equal to 1, then you will get amount of heat energy will be in terms of joule, provided I is in amperes, R is in ohm, T is in seconds. This is what? So that Q equal to I square RT joules, the amount of heat energy produced in a current carrying conductor. Hope you got clarity on this. Shall I conclude this? So what topic you have learned till now? Heating effects of electric current. And especially when a current of I amperes passing through a conductor of resistance R rho for T seconds, then heat energy produced Q equal to I square RT. Of course, if you want, this I square RT can be written as IR into R into T. So that you can write as VIT, because IR is equal to V. So even you can write Q is equal to V into I into T, where V is the potential difference across the conductor, I is the current passing through the conductor, T is the diameter for which the current flows. I repeat, V is the potential difference across the conductor of resistance R, through which I current is passing for T seconds. Then heat energy produced Q equal to V into I into T also you can write, because IR equal to V. Sorry, here it is IR into I, because I square R will be written as IR into I. So this is all about heating effects of electric current for today's class. So in the next class, we discuss a little more concepts of current electricity. Meanwhile, once go through this content properly, make a notes of it and make sure that you are up to the mark with each and every concept of the class, and don't forget to refer the textbook. Take care.